Alright, check this out. You guys are back on the Hater World and I'm Blue Devil. What we have going on today is a video coming from 1090 Jake. If you don't know who 1090 Jake is, he is out here exposing rats, wannabes, and those that do not follow the G code, right? He's holding people accountable, holding people's feet to the fire. And if you didn't know, a lot of people don't like Jake for that same reason. They say that he's only out here exposing blacks. And who is he to be all up in the blacks business? Even though Jake comes from sort of what you would call a black community, you know, being co-signed by the homies of where he from, right? Well, today he exposing a ex-Southsider that goes by the name of G-Face. You guys might remember G-Face from the time that he went on No Jumper and gave false stories about his life. You might remember him from the time he provided false paperwork to everybody. You might remember him from talking about Bozo and leaking the fake audio tapes of, AI, right? You might remember him from being pressed by Whack 100 live on set. Or you might remember him from trying to get at me with a YouTube video, right? Well, look, he got a lot of memorable moments on YouTube. Recently, he's been trying to clear up his name, even pay YouTubers to speak good about him, right? I'm not going to tell you who, but you can imagine who I'm talking about. Well. Let me make this very clear, very, very easily for you to understand. Everybody that's in the game already knew that G-Face's background was iffy. We already knew that paperwork was false. As far as him altering it to make him look good, we already knew that homies from his section don't rock with him. We already knew that he was bad, but we would not speak on it for the simple fact of it was really not for YouTube. You know, people in the comments would say, hey, this fool this fool that, but we already knew. We just didn't bring it up because something was very wrong about this man, right? I'm going to tell you guys real quick with me. He was always trying to be over friendly. He was always trying to offer me money, offer me opportunities. He was always mentioning my name, trying to be attached to me. And that to me is a red flag. Like, I don't even know you and you're doing the extras. Number two, he would always send me videos of him fighting people, him with the blicky, him pulling up on milk, him rolling around with this, with that, and I would always be like, damn, this fool really doesn't even know if I'm a popo or there's popos behind me, and he's sending me all this freely, you know? And it's just to be sending it like that to random people, because I've heard at least 4 or 5 other people say the same exact thing I'm saying, right? So that's why I never spoke about this guy or talked about him, because I said something's off. Well, now I'm glad I didn't. Imagine I would have went off on the YouTube video. My name would have been on that indictment. That's why I never responded. Well, this video here is not about me. It's about Bozo. All right, the Southside logo, right? Now, look, this is a 20-minute video from 1090 Jake. But what we going to do is only play the part that speaks about Bozo, because that's our culture. He's part of our people. He falls into the category of what we talk about. So I think it'll be perfect to only react to that part. Now, anybody that wants to go watch it in full, go over to 1090 Jake on YouTube. You'll have the full video, detail from beginning to end. And to those that want to read the paperwork, go to the main page right here, the Hater World. Go to the community tab, and it will all be right there, right? Also, go to Hater World Media. It will be available. It is available there. All right. So let's go ahead and watch this video. But before we do, tonight we go live at 6 p.m. on TheHaterWorld Uncensored. We're going to play music. So if you're an artist, if you want to get your music played, go request it on TheHaterWorld Uncensored. Alright? From 8 to 10, we're going to have Spider G and Sad Girl in the building for their album release. And from 10 to 1, we're going to get back to playing music. So we have a long night. Pull up. Let's get it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and watch this clip. We're going to start it at the 10-minute mark and stop it at the 13-minute mark. Alright? Once we watch that, we'll react to it and we'll be out of here. So with that being said, let's get you guys a Blue Devil reaction.
Face completely lied on No Jumper about avenging his dead cousin, attempting to murder 2 rivals, and doing 20 straight years in prison. In fact, the DEA became involved with Yuri back in 2005 when he was only 20 and began using him as an informant. He provided the DEA with names and evidence against several people that resulted in arrests. After several arrests were made, including members of the Mexican Mafia, it became clear to the community that Yuri was an informant. Word was put out that he was a snitch and needed to be taken out. And shortly after, he'd be attacked by 2 men and stabbed multiple times. He managed to survive, but it would take months to fully recover. The Glendale Police Department pressured Yuri to give up the names of the 2 men who stabbed him so they could arrest them. At first, Yuri was reluctant because he knew it would lead to more retaliation, but the detective insisted, even threatening him with jail if he didn't reveal the names. Yuri was assured they'd be arrested and he wouldn't have to testify, so he gave up the names and they were arrested for attempted murder. Neither man would take a plea, meaning Yuri now had to testify, and it only took a little convincing before Yuri agreed and testified against them. He knew doing so would increase the pressure on him as a target of the Mexican Mafia, and he later learned he was #1 on their hit list. The government back then realized he was in danger and arranged for him to move to Atlanta and start a new life. The move didn't go well, and he moved back to Los Angeles with his family. Within 1 year of moving back, he was attacked, and Yuri stabbed one of the men, sending him to the hospital. Yuri refused to cooperate at this point. He told the officers the reason he's in the position he's in is because he cooperated before, and he was never going to do it again. It was explained to him if he did not cooperate, he would likely be charged, as you can't go a self-defense route without cooperation. But for the first time in Yuri...
So look, Jake is telling his whole story, right? But I will say this. When you play the game like that, bro, and you deep into the politics, and you deep into the whole prison ties, big dog ties, it isn't a easy game. It isn't like you play Mortal Kombat, back A, or back forward B. It's not an easy game, bro. You can't dictate the outcome. And when you get that involved, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? But you can't be mad at nobody because you decided to play. You decided to raise your hand. You decided to say, I want to be involved. And only the strong survive when you get involved. Maybe at one point, he was doing his thing. Maybe he was. But when you do one bad thing, it automatically overshadows everything. That one bad thing you did basically wipes out all your good catalog, right? So those that play the game, they know the outcome. They know that they might become somebody important, or they might become washed up and on the list, in the hat. So if you win, you'll be hoisting your trophy, right? I'm a big dog. But if you lose, you're supposed to get out the game and leave. Walk away, never to be seen again. You came up short. You lost your quarter in the arcade game. You lost in the Mortal Kombat game. You lost. But a lot of these dudes, bro, don't get that. They don't understand that. They continue to try to play, fool people. They try to lie their way back into being cool. Yeah, and some people might be like, who cares? That's your pastor. Or this fool's cool with me. Or he's my cousin. But all it takes is one guy, homie. All it takes is one guy. And the problem with characters like G-Face is the fact that not about what they continue to do, but what they're doing to the people around them. They get people caught up. Because imagine if I would have rocked with him not knowing about his background, and I get a call, hey fool, you better come through, homie. You getting a DP, or you getting this or that because you're kicking in with a dude that's no good. That's why you're supposed to just walk away, homie. That's why people despise people like you, because you get people in wrecks. Still out here trying to play a game and fool people when you've already lost. You lost. The same thing goes for criminal. You lost. You played, you lost. Nobody told you to raise your hand. Nobody told you to say, pick me. Nobody told you to do that. You did. Don't be mad at other people because they still out here playing. Well, they didn't raise their hand. They didn't go to a level 4. Listen, my boy, that ain't the name of the game. The name of the game is to survive. And if I'm going to survive like this, then this is what I'm going to do. Now, very simple. Very simple. You don't have to raise your hand. But if they pick you, it's time to go. Right? Not everybody has to raise their hand. Hey, I'm ready. I'm a crash dummy. Let's go. No. But if the big dogs say, hey, you over there, come here. I need you to handle this. Then you got to handle it. Too many people nowadays are trying to talk this big tough guy talk about I raise my hand, I handle business. But they got wives, families, and kids. How is that possible? Listen, my boy. You put yourself in this predicament and you should have walked away. And now you out here being exposed by the number one exposer, 1090 Jake, and you got to live with it. You got to live with it. Now, the thing is, will G-Face walk away for good if he gets bail or if he beats the case, or will he continue to prove his case? Because at this point, I don't think anyone will believe him. Let's go.
His criminal life, he'd actually do something honorable. He told the police he'd rather do prison time than put himself and his family further at risk. If only he thought like that before becoming a whole DEA fucking informant, he would have avoided all of this. Yuri would end up being arrested for the stabbing and took a plea sending him to prison for the next 7 to 8 years. Law enforcement was aware of him being an informant, and the Mexican mafia hit on him, so he was placed in protective custody. When he was released, he wanted to start a new life, but he still had the potential hit hanging over him. He moved to a location where he could not be found and started his trucking business. Finding success, he'd move his family into a home where he has put in larger walls.
Look, he was playing big boy games, bro. He was playing big boy games. And I'm sure at one point he was a commendable dude. I'm sure at one point he was looked upon as, he a hitter. And I'm sure he's still down to do it, homie. I'm sure if somebody walks up to him with some funky, he gonna get you. Who knows? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But none of that matters. The streets don't rock with you. Now, the streets don't rock with you, right? Now you gotta always be watching your back. Now you don't know if the person walking up on you is cool or if he's trying to get you. So you're always going to be on that flight mode. That's why you're supposed to just walk away, dog. You got your bread up. Why not just leave? I don't get it, dog. I don't get it. There's a lot of them out here like this. A lot. Let's go.
Iron gates, 35 cameras, and part-time security.
35 cameras?
Yuri's lawyer would go out of his way to show that in 2024, the hit over Yuri's head is still very much active. To underscore the ongoing threat, Yuri received a recent Instagram message from someone named Bozo, who sent him a picture of his house with the message that his days are numbered.
All right, look, let me explain this real quick. Shout out to 1090 Jake, first and foremost. I'll tell you why. He reached out a couple days ago before this video dropped. As soon as Jake got this paperwork and seen Bozo's name in it, he hit me directly. He was like, hey, my boy, check this out. You know Bozo like that? Bozo from my area, he my homie. Let him know that they got him in the indictment. G-Face is telling on him. So whatever he got, just let him know that he on paper. Right? Giving me a heads up to give the Southside logo a heads up. That is a commendable act. That is the streets rocking with the streets. All right. Now people might say like, oh, who 1090 or who Bozo? Street homies. Street homies respect street homies, bro. No matter the level, if you a real one, I respect you. If you with the function and you 1000, I respect you. So being a real one, 1090 reached out and said, hey, tell old boy just to beware. They might come knocking on his door. I hit up the logo and I told him, hey, fool, just, you know what time it is. So I will say this. 1090 Jake is and will always be invited over here to the Hater World on the south side. Right? On the south side part of the town. He is welcome to the carne asada. And whenever the homie wants to pull up, he could pull up. Salute to 1090. But what this paperwork is about, it is just G-Face trying to wiggle at a staying in jail. He trying to post bail. Him and the lawyer are trying to come up with narratives that the judge will look at and be like, oh, okay, let him out on bail. So basically, G-Face is saying, there's a hit out on me. The big dogs want me murked. Here's proof that they want me murked. They sent one of their hitters, the logo, to take photos of my pad. And the logo took a photo of my lady, my kid, and the dog and sent it to me and told me, watch your ass. And judge, here is proof that they on my bumper. So I got to get out of jail. Because if I stay here, they gonna get me. So if you let me go home, I can move my family into a safer place. So they're using the Southside logo as collateral to help this guy get out of jail. Now, is the judge gonna believe it? I don't think so. Right? But this goes to show you that every man for themselves in the end, bro. Right? Every man for themselves in the end. This guy is trying to wiggle out of, but I will tell you this. I don't think Bozo ever went back and forth with him. If you guys remember, this fool got mad over the song I released on my platform, Grinch Mode. This fool came at me sideways. The other guy came at me sideways. I was just the one releasing the record. But after that happened, this fool tried to expose Bozo for that AI tape and all this extra shit that we all knew it was fake. And it didn't work. Bozo didn't respond. Now we know why. With that being said, look, I don't know what this guy's gonna do. He in federal lockup right now. Listen, imagine being a millionaire with houses, mansions, 16 Impalas, and stuck in jail, and they telling you when to eat, when to shit, when to sleep. Oh, bro, he going through it right now, homie. I guarantee you that if this fool gets bail, Armenia, here we come. I don't blame him. I don't condone nothing this man did. He's been telling since 2001. he been telling since 2001. It's wild, homie. It is wild. Let's give it another couple of seconds and then we're going to kill this video.
In one of the pictures, his wife, daughter, and dog are all visible. The Instagram message is saved on his phone that the police took during the search, and if they bring the phone to court, Yuri can show the threatening Instagram message. So apparently Yuri still isn't done snitching, and his online beef with Bozo is documented through social media.
So when I did this whole YouTube shit, what I did was I was gonna show my fans, haters, whoever's watching, nothing but realness, 100% authenticity. Bro, I'm too rich for you to go to war with me, dog. Think about this. I could drop $40,000 right now for one of your little homies to off you, dog. You saying I'm a snitch. Why are you not doing something about it?
Yuri's in...
Because, look, let me explain something to you guys. You gotta know what type of ops you have, right? The ones that just do this, they end up taking themselves out. Look what happened with the pot stalker. He wouldn't shut the fuck up. And eventually, he talked himself into a beatdown and being looked upon as a racist. Look what... No, I'm not going to go there. But look what happened to Criminalgas. He talked himself into TikTok begging for likes. Looked upon as a rat. Look what happened to this guy. Flossing all that money, talking about 40 racks on your head. Now he in lockup snitching on the world. That's why you're supposed to know when you go back and forth with somebody, if it's going to stay on YouTube, maybe a fight out in the open, whatever, then whatever. But when you know that it's something bigger than that, you don't respond. You don't leave a trail. That's why when there's certain individuals that have got at me sideways, and I feel that something's wrong, I don't reply. And there's only like 2 guys that I haven't responded to, and now you know why. I'm about to let them take me down. Hell no. With that being said, shout out to 1090 Jake for being a real one and hitting me up about the whole situation. We knew about this already. Shout out to everybody in the chat that was already speaking about this, months ago. Shout out to everybody, bro. Shout out to all the real ones holding it down. Shout out to everybody working a 9 to 5. Shout out to everybody that's on the grind trying to come up. That's the way it be. And with that being said, tonight, 6 p.m., TheHaterWorld Uncensored. Pull up, show some love. And we out.